Open the door. I see Kent's dad and his new wife, covered in blood and cocaine, literally trying to kill each other. This is the story of my friend Kent, a boy whose life was marked by unimaginable trauma and whose fate remains a mystery. Stay with me until the end, because this story is one you won't forget. In the 4th grade, I had a friend named Kent. Kent's life was far from normal. His family was messed up, to say the least. His mother was in prison for trying to kill him and his little sisters by locking them in their house and setting it on fire. Kent, my brave friend, saved his sisters' lives but suffered burns on 90% of his body. He wore masks, special sleeves for his legs and arms. It was horrible for him. Other kids were weirded out by him, but I thought it was so unfair how they treated him, because they didn't understand. Hell, my own stepmother had beaten the shit out of me 100 times by that age. But what happened the one night I stayed over at Kent's house will forever be etched in my mind. It was a normal weekend night. We had a Super Nintendo, a large pizza, PUBGs, and a whole basement to ourselves. We ate, drank, played until we passed out. The basement was our safe haven, a place where the outside world's horrors didn't exist. Kent and I would laugh, trying to beat each other's high scores for a few precious hours. We were just kids. In the middle of the night, Kent's little sister, Rose, comes running down the basement steps, crying hysterically. She had peed herself and was shaking, having a full-blown panic attack. Her eyes were wide with fear, her tiny frame trembling uncontrollably. I wake up and see Kent is not waking up upstairs. It sounds like a bowling alley or a bar fight. I can't get Rose to calm down, and Kent won't wake up, so I go searching for an adult. Up the basement steps is the dining room. As I open the door, I see Kent's dad and his new wife, covered in blood and cocaine, literally trying to kill each other. Neither really had clothes on. Neither noticed me, and they were out to kill each other. The scene was a nightmare, something out of a horror movie. Blood splattered the walls, and the air was thick with the smell of violence and drugs. What did I do? I turned around and went back downstairs, sat with his sister until she fell asleep. I remember holding her close, whispering soothing words, trying to make her feel safe. My heart was pounding in my chest, fear coursing through my veins. The next day, they acted like nothing happened. The house was cleaned up. Both of them looked better than the night before, served the kids donuts like it was any normal Sunday morning. The contrast between the violent chaos of the night and the seemingly peaceful morning was surreal. It was as if the nightmare had been erased, but the tension in the air was palpable. I told my dad every detail of the story when I got home. He looked sick when I was done. He went and told the story to several people, who ended up finding out Kent's dad was a fairly big-time drug dealer and woman beater. The revelation was shocking, but it also explained the constant fear and instability that surrounded Kent's life. Kent moved away shortly after that, and I've never heard a thing about him since. I still wonder to this day if he and his sisters are okay. The memories of that night haunt me, a reminder of the hidden struggles people endure and the importance of compassion and understanding. Let's go back to that night as I sat with Rose, her tiny body trembling in my arms. I couldn't help but think about the unfairness of it all. Kent had already been through so much. His mother, the one person who was supposed to protect him, had tried to kill him, and now his father, the only family he had left, was locked in a brutal battle with his new wife. It was a never-ending cycle of violence and trauma. I remember looking at Kent's sleeping face, the scars that marred his skin, and feeling a deep sense of sorrow. He didn't deserve this. No child did. But in that moment, all I could do was hold his sister and hope that somehow things would get better. The sounds from upstairs grew louder, the crashing and shouting echoing through the house. I knew I had to do something, but I was just a kid. I felt helpless, trapped in a situation that was far beyond my control. The fear was paralyzing, but I couldn't let it show. Rose needed me to be strong. Eventually, the noise subsided, replaced by an eerie silence. I sat there, holding Rose, waiting for the first light of dawn. When the morning finally came, I felt a strange mix of relief and dread. The nightmare was over, but the scars it left behind were permanent. This story is a reminder of the hidden struggles people endure and the importance of compassion and understanding. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. And if you have any similar stories, feel free to share them in the comments below.